Hello! Today we're going to talk about concealer. So I thought I would just make a video on my own tips and tricks. Concealer is kind of like foundation. I always share what I like to do for my own application, but try it out and see what you like best and what works best for your skin, your routine, everything like that. But I'm going to show you where I apply it, how I apply it, and just kind of what works best for me. So I love our new concealer. If you didn't know, it's actually infused with tons of vitamins and nutrients and things like that so that it's also nourishing your skin as you wear it. One of the things that has in it is caffeine, and so it's actually going to not only conceal your under eyes and things like that, but it's going to actually tighten them up as you wear it and give them an instantly firmer looking appearance. So it's kind of like an awesome skincare and makeup product in one, I guess you would say. But there's a lot of different ways to apply concealer. So normally what I'll do is I just kind of go like this and I put these two little dots. I don't have super duper dark under eyes. I do have some darkness and a little bit of puffiness, but it's not really bad. And then always with concealer, I personally like to use a damp beauty blender. So you can get these anywhere on like Target, Ulta, Amazon.com, Walmart.com, wherever you want. And you can get a whole pack of them for really pretty inexpensive. I usually buy kind of like the medium size because once you get them wet, they get way bigger. So what I do every day is I wash mine before I do my makeup. And you don't want it wet. You just want it damp. And so what I'll do is I'll wash it and then I'll squeeze it as hard as I can and then I wrap it in a towel and I squeeze it again to make sure that it isn't wet but that it's damp. And so the idea behind that is it is a sponge and it's going to absorb product as you are using it. You know what I mean? So if it's damp, you can blend out your product without having it absorbed. So here's the other way people apply concealer is kind of like this. Both ways you're going to want to blend it a little bit below wherever your puffiness, dark circles, anything like that are. And the same thing, I'm not swiping and smearing. What I'm doing is I'm just pressing it into my skin. I'm not doing this super hard or anything. I don't want to cause damage to my skin. I'm just lightly dabbing and blending it out. And so concealer is one of those things that I think less is more. Start with a little bit and then keep adding a little bit as you need it. And that'll help avoid getting cakey, heavy makeup or anything like that. Another thing is, I don't know if you noticed when I started this video, I purposely don't put my foundation under my eye if I'm going to be using concealer. So I just think if you don't need product there, why put it there? I'm going to add just a little bit to this side so that they match because I just wanted to show you both of the ways that you can apply concealer to your under eye. The biggest thing is kind of think of like a triangle shape versus like just doing it directly on your under eye bags or puffiness or dark circles or whatever it is that you're struggling with, and this is just going to brighten it up. As far as shade goes, I recommend going about 3 shades lighter than your foundation. You don't want it so white that it looks like crazy, but you want it light enough that you're going to get that contrast and that brightening up under your eyes. So the other thing, a lot of times I'll just do this. Like I'll just do my under eyes and call it good for my highlight. But another thing that you can do if you want to do like a full highlight, I'll show you the different areas. You can do your chin, and I just kind of scrape off if there's like a lot on there because I don't really want a ton of excess. Another place that I do a lot is right here because I feel like that's one of the places that I show aging. Wow, it's going up. Because of like these laugh lines, and so this just kind of helps hide that. You can do up your nose. I have very little product on this, just so you know. I'm not like caking it on because I only need a little bit, so I am using like very little product on this in case it looks like more. And then the same thing, I just kind of take it and blend it out. You don't have to do a full, I definitely don't do full highlight and contour every single day. Most days I will pop a little concealer under my eyes unless I'm in like a huge hurry and I just do foundation. But sometimes I will do the full shebang, you know what I mean? So I'll put it right here. And then you can also use it if I fill in my brows before I do my face, I will also use concealer to kind of clean up my eyebrows and everything like that, but I didn't really think to do that before I hopped on here. Another place you can do it is right kind of on the little triangle of your forehead. You don't really need to take it all the way up, but this is just gonna help bring light to that, and basically we're just highlighting anywhere that the sun would naturally hit on our face. So if you think of triangles under the eyes. Not right now. Yeah. Carve. I'm trying to make a video right now, sir. Okay, sorry about that. I had a pause. So my youngest son, he is a little pistol. But all I did was I just finished blending it out. I used the same dabbing motion, dab, 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 no swiping, no smearing. And then personally, so this is kind of up to you. I like to set my concealer with a setting powder. So the only reason why I want to share this with you, if you like to leave it unset, that's totally up to you. I personally have oily skin, and it would just probably look kind of like all cakey and stuff by the end of the day if I did that. So the reason why, when you're doing a highlight, like say you're doing under your eyes, if you wear powder foundation or something as far as for your coverage, with your concealer, you're going to want to use a translucent setting powder. So I'm using the one from Younique, but of course, you know, if you have a different one you like, you could totally still use it with this concealer. But the reason why is, if I put on my concealer and then I immediately went over it with my pressed powder that was in my foundation shade, I'm just going to cover up everything that I just did, because my foundation powder is the same shade as my face. Where this is translucent, so it's going to set it, it's going to blur fine lines, it's going to blur imperfections, and it's going to mattify it and set it in place all day, but it's translucent, so you're still going to see that lighter color. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, that's kind of my concealer tips. That's kind of how I apply it, where I apply it, everything like that. And then I'll go in and just put my foundation powder everywhere else, kind of blending it into that. Some people do apply their setting powder with a beauty blender. I've tried it both ways, and I personally just prefer to dust it on with a fluffy brush, but it's all about personal preference and what works best for you. And then the last thing is, if you're just using your concealer for spot coverage, you're just going to use it in the exact same shade as your foundation, dab it where you need that spot coverage, and blend it out the same way with the beauty blender. So yeah, you probably don't really need these tips other than maybe the blending it out. But as far as doing it for highlighting, or like I said, most days I'll just kind of do it under my eyes, but once in a blue moon I'll do the full contour. A little tiny bit goes a long ways. Add more as needed. Dab, 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 versus don't swipe, don't smear. That's just going to make lines. It's going to wipe the product off. It's not going to look good. Grab you a pack of beauty blenders. Gonna change your makeup game. And then, like I said, I personally set mine with a translucent setting powder. I like it mattified. I like it to stay there all day. It kind of dries, but it's not like it's gonna dry to a powder, you know what I'm saying? So whatever your personal preference is. I have friends who leave their concealer just kind of that more dewy look, but that doesn't really work for me and my skin. So see what you like best. But anyways, I hope these tips are helpful. Sorry this got kind of long, but I just was showing you the full process and talking. So I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you later.